This week on the Digital Coffee with this mad group of people, we're going to be talking about augmented reality, try it on before you buy it. LinkedIn employee verification, don't get excited, it's not exactly what we want yet. And WhatsApp are changing the way that groups work. I have to go over here and press a button. See you in a moment. Good morning, and welcome to the Digital Coffee. I am mugless this morning and I feel a bit lost without my mug. This is your weekly dose of digital marketing and social media news for small business. And we are on a road trip this week. Yes, we are live from the City North Hotel. Are we in County Meath?
Yes.
Just in County Meath. And I have joining me today Melanie Boylan from Stomp Social Media. I have Louise Brogan from Louise Brogan and Carmel Siri from Carmel Siri. They're going to be throwing in their opinions and ideas about some of the stories that we're covering this week. I can see we've got Ian Anderson Gray. I have to keep leaving the screen. Sorry, I'm leaving. You can keep waving at them here. We've got Ian Anderson Gray.
Oh, Ian should be with us.
So I'm just putting his comments on screen. He's also excited to be here. We have Brenda Bergin, who has a great Facebook group called Preneurs. You should check that out.
Brenda,
Yeah, there you go. And so thanks so much for joining me. If you are watching and you haven't left a coffee, I need a coffee. If you haven't left a comment yet, do know that if you leave a comment on Facebook, I will send you a copy. I won't because I didn't do it. Later on, I will send you a copy of the Digital Coffee newspaper, which you'll be able to read in your own time. If you're watching on YouTube or if you're watching on LinkedIn, you'll see there is a post pinned to the top of the chat and in the event. So you can just click through there and get your copy of the newspaper. So you can see I'm a little bit underprepared today because it's all exciting having people here. I have lots of stories, starting with Snpahcat Catalog Shopping lenses. They give these the catchiest names, don't they? So this is a new feature from Snapchat that is going to let you use lenses. So they're the ones that, you make you look like a dog or make you look like a cat or make you look like someone else. These will actually help you try on makeup or glasses or in the future clothes. That's not new. We've been able to do that. But the way it's going to get used, and I do have an example for you here, is you will be able to try on different types of makeup from the brand you want and then shop for that makeup directly from the brand. I think this is taking social shopping one step further. We've seen it, online shopping obviously has taken off massively during the pandemic, and this is just another way of tapping into that. So I'll get this off the screen so you can see people. Does anyone want to come forward and share their thoughts on this?
I think it's going to completely transform things. Personally, we've seen interior designers adding furniture into stuff.
Don't talk about that.
Yeah, but when it comes to like L'Oreal on their website, you can actually go to their website and pick colours and put on eye makeup and lipstick and shades, and to do this within the app is so much faster.
It is. It means you won't have to go to someone's website to actually buy it. You will actually be able to do it in the space that you're at. And we know that Snapchat are the masters of augmented reality. This is their thing. So I think it could be really effective. You can try these now. I'll put a link in the comments once we finish. If you go into the link I share, you can click through and scan a QR code with your Snapchat camera, and it will give you limited access to these lenses, which is how I got to try on the makeup. I kind of look ridiculous in the shop, but I did. Okay, what's up next?
Hi, I'm Lee from Wellshot, and you're watching the Digital Coffee with Amanda Webb. Cheers.
One of the most frustrating problems for businesses on LinkedIn is that anyone can say they work for your company. Any random stranger can come in, moving my chair, so there's room for Louise. Any random stranger can say they work for you. And it's beyond annoying. It's damaging to your brand in some ways. And they actually had more things that they could do that I didn't even realise they could do until they took it away. So when I heard that LinkedIn were going to have verified employees, I thought, well, that's it. They're sorting this problem out. you won't be able to say you're an employee of somewhere unless you are. But that's not what it is it, Louise? Come forward.
Yes.
Louise is a LinkedIn expert. She's the person to talk to about this stuff. So tell us more.
So LinkedIn, if you have a business page and you have a certain number of employees, and I believe it's supposed to be for people with more than 200 employees, you have a tab on your LinkedIn company page called My Company. And now the change is that only people who are actually verified employees of a company have access to the My Company tab. What is the My Company tab? It's where the people who are running the page can highlight employees' posts, give employees ideas to share content on, and employees can connect with each other. So for example, if you work for an organisation with an office in London, an office in New York, and an office in Delhi, you can maybe be like the whole marketing department can connect together in the My Company tab. You can find each other more easily on LinkedIn. So the My Company tab is an excellent feature, and now only verified employees will have access to it.
It shocks me that non-verified employees could get in there,
Yes.
like randomers.
The thing is with LinkedIn though, most people don't know half of the functionality that's there anyway.
It's true.
In the first place, so it probably hasn't been too detrimental to too many
The
companies.
other thing is really scary. So the whole thing with you now only verified people will be able to do that. And the other thing they said was that only verified employees will be able to post jobs from that company. Now that is scary, isn't it?
So right now, any of you, and please don't do this, could go and create yourself a position as Chief Technical Officer of My Company on LinkedIn. And then I would have to go to LinkedIn to get that taken down. So you can still do that. So you could literally go, don't do it to my don't do it to a small business, but go and set yourself up as a Chief Technical Officer of some big gigantic company.
I should go and set myself up as CEO of Facebook.
Yeah. In fact, I'm going to make a YouTube video about that, I think.
Do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Great stuff. Thanks, Louise.
All right.
Go back and sit with the others.
Join my posse.
Good morning. I'm just going to say hello to some other people that are watching. So you're on camera, you three. You can wave at them. We've got Making.
Making, hi!
Oh, Making!
We've got Esther.
Hi, Esther.
We've got Ian leaving lots more comments. I can't read them, Ian, because I haven't got my glasses on and I haven't got my normal setup. We've got Deirdre, who's watching over on YouTube. Yes.
I hope Lindsay's watching on LinkedIn. Lindsay, are you there?
Do let us know. We have quite a few people watching, so that's good. I'm not getting any comments from LinkedIn. So if you are watching on LinkedIn, do let me know, because I want to know whether it's worth me keeping broadcasting on LinkedIn. Just saw James come in there. Let's move on to the next story. And there's somebody on the chat that is about to appear on screen. Who is it?
That's exciting.
I'm Ian Anderson-Gray and you're watching Digital Coffee with Amanda Webb.
Instagram.
Us.
Tell them to be quiet. Instagram is the worst at accessibility. Anytime I've talked to an accessibility expert, they will always talk about how bad Instagram is. And we have seen quite a few updates from Instagram over the last year. You know, we can add alt text now. It doesn't really prompt you to add alt text, which would be nice, but you can add alt text. We can see captions on stories and on reels. I don't think you can add it to feed videos yet, but they're coming along. But one thing they haven't addressed is how difficult it is for screen readers to navigate the site. So screen readers are used by visually impaired people to understand website pages. And up until now, the screen reader would take minutes to read through a single post to tell people what is in that single post on Instagram. But Instagram have just revamped this whole experience and brought that down to, instead of minutes, seconds. So this is a really big and good update. And it is important because people don't know there are actually laws in place both in Europe and in the UK regarding accessibility. Your content, your website should now be accessible the same way as it should be GDPR compliant. The problem is people don't know that. And I think the big companies like Instagram finally sorting this problem will help more of us to take accessibility seriously. Carmel, have you been aware of any issues? Because we bring Carmel in as, she's a financial expert, so she's really the person that I'm bringing in to talk about how aware you would have been about accessibility issues in the past.
I this is all really, really interesting to me because I'm just listening here and learning. I have all the accessibility. It's all a little bit.
Is your website accessible? Don't worry, mine isn't that accessible. I do my best.
If you have the address, it's very accessible.
So really, Carmel is our person to bounce, as a non-marketer, to bounce our ideas off today. So I'm really, it is interesting to see that's not, it's on my agenda, but obviously as just a user, it's not something you've thought about.
No, it isn't, and this is possibly the worrying thing as well. We're unless it's kind of put in front of us, we don't notice these things, and we can fall into traps that we don't even know we're going into. So it really is interesting to kind of to listen to the digital coffee and get this information in bite sizes so we can understand it, which is brilliant.
Thanks, Carmel. And I'm sure for lots of you watching, you'd be exactly the same position, that you don't know that these issues are even arising. And of course, unless you're somebody that uses a screen reader or has a friend who uses a screen reader, you're probably not aware that this is a problem at all. And it's something I think all of us as businesses need to know more about. I can see we've got Lindsay, was that who you were calling?
Yes.
Lindsay, hi Lindsay. We've got John Hayes, hi John Hayes. Hello to James who's watching on YouTube. And Roy, great to see you here. And actually Roy is one of my accessibility buddies. He can tell us a lot. So do feel free to throw in your own comments there, Roy, about what you think. Have you seen this problem with Instagram in the past? Let's move on to, I'm moving over here so you have to smile.
Hey, it's Andy at Content Cal here, and you're watching The Digital Coffee with Amanda Webb.
I have to scroll through to, my whole setup here is off kilter today, just so you know. The sound might be weird because I've got a Blue Yeti microphone rather than my normal fancy one. It's miles away, so it picks up all you nattering in the background and all my buttons are over here. And as you can see, I'm in a hotel room with 3 beds, but I had it all to myself.
We didn't share the room.
No. Only one of them is ruffled. Okay, so it's taken me a little while to scroll through the stories today, so I do apologise. But next is the one that Melanie almost gave away earlier. Dum, dum, dum. It's not just makeup and clothes and glasses that you can try on virtually anymore. Pinterest is also getting in on the augmented reality game, but this time for home furnishings. You are going to be able to try on furniture in your house, see what it would look like in the place that you want to put it before you buy. And in general, this concept isn't new. This is something that IKEA did before. You could see how IKEA furniture was going to fit into your home. What's great about Pinterest is that you're going to have such a wide range of stores that you're going to be able to choose from, different brands. It's not just going to be IKEA. You're going to be able to try on all these different chairs or couches or beds or cushions or whatever it wants in your home. And I really think the future of shopping is here. This is exactly the sort of tool that is going to be useful not just during a pandemic, but not everyone's able to go to 20 different shops to go and browse things, and then when you get the chair home it's completely wrong or the wrong size for your home. I think this along with live stream shopping is really going to be the future of social shopping. I do kind of want to put Carmel in this again. Because I'm wondering, Carmel, is this the sort of tool you would use?
Yes and no. I would use it if I was kind of shown how, or somebody was showing it to me. It's not something I particularly would go looking for. But if I saw somebody else doing it, and I would be interested. And once you've done it once or twice, then possibly it would be something I would do going on. But I don't, troll the internet for these fads. Like the kids do. Do you know what I mean? Like my son knows way more about this stuff than I do.
So he's going to choose your home furnishing in future, that's what you're saying?
Go on, I was
going to say, Louise.
Yeah, so I think it's really, I actually think from a point of view of all the furniture shops, are they going to have to now get all of their stuff turned into AR, uploaded? Like, this is actually an opportunity for brilliant upskilling of people who are going to have to be able to provide these jobs. You think about it, kids today, the jobs they're going to do in the future, we don't even, these are jobs that we didn't know about a year ago.
It's not going to be too technical. For Snapchat and for Pinterest, it looks like this is going to be something that, although there will be a bit of tech involved, it's not going to be something you have to build from scratch.
But
you
as
actually
the business
have tools that you can use. So absolutely, you're probably not going to want to do it yourself still, unless you're, why would you when you've got other ways to sell furniture? But you definitely, this is something that is going to be accessible to all businesses, not just the big brands, even though it will start with the big businesses.
The other issue I have with this is that we we are going to want to buy furniture that won't deliver to where we live.
Yes, well that happens to me on Pinterest anyway.
Logistics.
I
Very
stop
good,
looking
yeah.
at Pinterest because I'll go, oh, that chair looks good. Oh, look, it's 500, whatever. Oh, it's 2,000 to get delivered.
Yes.
Okay, right. Have I got buttons to press? Yes, here we go.
Hi, I'm Kyra Fingleton from Glamping Under the Stars, and you're watching The Digital Coffee with Amanda Webb.
Do you love WhatsApp groups? Everyone loves. Who loves WhatsApp groups? Or do you hate WhatsApp groups? I think we all feel that, you know, I have certain WhatsApp groups that I'm in that are family related, that are low traffic, that are actually really useful to be in. You know, if a lot of my family live in the same area, so if I want to borrow a cup of sugar, I can just throw that into my WhatsApp group, and if somebody has sugar, I can get it. You know, that's the handy thing about it. But we all know we've been added to or are members of WhatsApp groups, and the experience hasn't been great. The traffic's really high. There's comments in there that just aren't right. Well, WhatsApp are launching a new way to access groups, and this is going to be particularly useful for businesses. It sounds like it's going to be very similar to Slack, in which case you will be able to, your organization will be able to have a large WhatsApp community, and members of your staff will be able to access just the projects they're working on or the groups that they're interested in within that community, which is pretty much Slack. I do think it has. So firstly, I think Slack the UX is terrible. I don't think it's a great tool. Secondly, people know how to use WhatsApp. They're laughing because I didn't swear and I swore in the rehearsal. And also, WhatsApp is a tool that we all know how to use. Like, every generation knows how WhatsApp uses it. It's like great-grandparents and great-grandchildren both use WhatsApp and communicate that way. So I think it's going to be a lot easier to onboard people into something like this for a business. I think I would be happy to use it for managing my projects. Anyone want to come in on this? Melanie, we haven't heard from. Sorry, Louise, you can come in.
Well, I personally agree with you. I don't enjoy the UX of
It's
Slack
not very good.
myself. No.
No.
That's why there's so many different options. And I think making Slack app, which is ultimately what it's going to work out like by the sounds of it, it's just opening up their audience to a larger, opening themselves up to a larger audience ultimately. But I don't know.
You don't know?
No,
Yeah.
I'm not convinced they do a good
Louise.
job.
Yeah, so is WhatsApp still owned by Facebook /
Yes.
Meta?
Yes.
Yeah, so they've been trying to get into the business market for years, since I was doing Facebook training, which was a long time ago. I don't really like WhatsApp.
I used to be a WhatsApp skeptic, but now I do kind of like
But
it.
I actually like Slack, and it's Lindsay Cambridge's fault. She runs her membership in there, and I actually really like it. It took a while to get used to, and I don't want to do my business in WhatsApp. And I have to say, sports clubs for your children or youth clubs for your children on WhatsApp, oh my gosh.
They're one of the nightmare groups.
Practices on Friday. Okay. Drives you a wee bit cuckoo.
Okay.
So yes, I'm not a wild WhatsApp fan.
You know, I'm not big into WhatsApp, and I think what you said about Slack, the fact that it took you a while to get used to,
Yes.
that's been my problem as well.
Yeah.
But I think that's why WhatsApp will work here.
Because people are already using
yes,
it.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
But I don't want to be in another Facebook-owned product.
We've got a couple of stories left, but I did realise I didn't give a shout out to because I'm all over the place today because I'm excited about having guests. We do have a Twitter space at 10:30 a.m. Myself, Making Sang, who is the FOMO creator, who we can see is watching. She's watching on YouTube. At 10:30 a.m. we come on and discuss these topics in more detail, usually so that I can bounce these ideas off other people. So hopefully some of these guys are going to join us for that as well. Right, what is next? Press the button, Amanda. I almost forgot to press the button.
Hi, I'm Charlie Lawrence and you're watching The Digital Coffee with Amanda Webb.
Short form video content is hot, right? But short form video content is getting longer. Instagram, it looks like, are working on 90-second reels. At the moment, the limit is 60 seconds. It went up from 30 seconds. Now we have a full 90 seconds. TikTok has, I think it's like 3 or 4 minutes now you can go on TikTok. And I really think these longer things, although they are good for users who want to, they have a longer amount of stuff that they need to say. At the moment, they have to break it into sections as a series. It's hard for them. It's hard for us to follow. We have to go and chase to see the next step in that series. So from that point of view, a longer video would be good. But also it's going to stop it being as much of a creative space, because we know putting restrictions in place, like the length of a video or the length of a tweet, will really help spark creativity. And that is what TikTok and Reels really have, creativity in spades. So longer, yeah, I can see why people might want it, but what that also means we are going to see a lot more bad or less creative content. We do have another story talking about this shortly, so I am going to ask these guys after we talked about the second one. But 90 seconds I can deal with. A future where we might have 10-minute reels? I'm not sure that I could. Another button.
Hello, this is Rob Charles, the voice of Mike on Forever FM on Peter Kay's Car Share. BAFTA award winning, I've got to say, but I've not seen the BAFTA yet. Anyway, you're watching The Digital Coffee with Amanda Webb. Enjoy. I'm on tea.
I switched him off before the end. Sorry, Rob. Part of the joy of Twitter is brevity. The fact, I used to love that it was 140 characters. There were some really good reasons why they doubled that from 140 to 280. I know specifically for the Irish language, if you were tweeting in Irish, it was really hard to get even a small thought over in 140 characters just because of the way that words were structured. So although I wasn't excited, in fact, I made a long video about how I disliked the idea of 280 characters. It made sense. At the time, I actually went looking for an article on this and couldn't find it, but I do remember Jack saying that he saw a future where it would be 10,000 characters. Wow. Well, maybe that future is getting a little bit closer, because reverse hacker J Mansion Wong found this on Twitter, and this is a hint that they are considering Twitter articles. Now, don't worry. Tweets won't be full-on blog posts. That's not what we're looking at here, but it is, I imagine, going to be a little bit like LinkedIn, where you can write an article and it stays on your profile and it will show off your expertise. Now, all this is conjecture because that screenshot is all I've got to go by, but I do imagine it could be like the newsletter that you can pin to the top of your Twitter account, that it will sit there, and it means that when someone visits your profile, they don't just have the last few tweets they can look at to make a judgment about you. They'll actually be able to see you sharing your expertise. So from that point of view, I'm a fan, as long as it doesn't take away the joy that is 280 characters on Twitter. So anyone want to throw in some thoughts on that?
Yes.
I'm just going to say, Louise was like, I'm only going to talk about LinkedIn.
So I'm a massive Twitter fan. Twitter is for Wordle. I haven't mentioned Wordle yet.
Sure, yes, let's not even get into Wordle.
But I really like this because I'm a massive advocate of pick your social media platform and build your audience there. And I have friends who are thought leaders in their industry, in their space, who only use Twitter. And I love this idea that they could be writing like an article a month, and you can go to their profile and you can kind of find out more about what they're talking about. So I really like this idea.
I surprise myself that I do as well. Yeah. And although this means you're not sending them to your website, we know people actually, it's not just the social networks that don't want you to leave.
Yeah.
People don't want to leave the social network. Well, they worry that it's going to take ages to load, there's going to be loads of spammy ads. So actually by posting, for service-based businesses like us that just need to show off that we do know what we're talking about, I think this could be really good.
It'd be interesting as well, the SEO opportunities for this. So if I have my article on LinkedIn and my blog, I could also maybe have it in my Twitter profile, and people might find me through the Twitter profile who are not connected to me in those other places.
It's very true, and I found that going live here on LinkedIn, I found that I'm connecting to new people with this show that we haven't before. Melanie wanted to come in.
Yes.
Did you?
Well,
come forward.
Yes. Well, basically, I found from using Twitter myself that hashtags haven't been the only way to do it. It's been who you're connected to as well, and using actually tagging people and connecting to them that way and sharing your knowledge that way has been vital. But this is going to be a whole new chapter. Excuse me, I'm losing my voice.
I'm excited about it. Carmel, with this week, you use Twitter more, do you think?
Yes,
Because you're perfect for this, because you're an
Yes.
expert in how we should be using our money in our business. So
Exactly.
how better to show it off?
So I'm not so wordsy, I'm not so clever with the words or so pithy with the words. So a little bit more, the articles would allow for that to come up. So that would be really, really good. So yeah, I might come back on Twitter.
Yeah. Well, what's your Twitter handle?
At Carmel Siri.
Great stuff. Thanks, Carmel. That is all the news for this week. I know Carmel has a meeting. If you want to head off, you can now. In fact, everyone's going to head off. Don't forget on Twitter at 10:30 a.m. if you go over to my Twitter profile at Spiderworking, pinned to the top of that, you will see my Twitter space. My Twitter space was given a shout out by the official Twitter Spaces account this week. So come to where all the cool stuff happens, 10:30 a.m. and Making will be there as well. I can see lots of comments. Roy, I can't wait to read all your comments because I did ask you to come back on that accessibility issue and I can see there's a load of comments from you there. Thanks for all your comments. This has been a weird show this week. I will be back in my office next week, same bat time, same bat place. I have to go over here and press a button. Until then, bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.